Hello from the Berks, Bucks and Oxon Wildlife Trust. Welcome to Meadow Farm. This is our highlight for the year. We were awarded a grant for £750,000 last year from the Heritage Lottery Fund to buy this amazing site. It's 28 hectares in size, fantastic example of lowland floodplain meadow, some of the last remnants throughout the UK. Key species here are curlew, foraging curlew. First records of black hair streak this year as well, yellowhammers and whitethroat, and some amazing flowers here as well, including great bonnet, which is absolutely amazing.
So Badger, in town today?
Oh yes, yes, look at these wonderful wild flowers here. Humans have been giving us an awful lot of chip lately, but they've come up trumps here. Now, we were in a play recently, well, remind me what it was called. Humans on Trial.
That's all, folks.
So we're at Alton Marshes Nature Reserve in the Suffolk Broads, standing in one of the fen meadow areas, and I'm in one of the turf ponds that we created via the CETA fund to create areas for pioneer species that were being lost in the Broads. These pools have developed really well in the last 6 months, and some of them have got more diversity than some SSSI ponds in the rest of the UK.
Our highlight this year has to be the purchase of our 2 fantastic new nature reserves in West Cornwall. Bostrays Nature Reserve, a fantastic wetland with these spectacular species, and Bartini Nature Reserve near Land's End, which we've just found out is one of 3 sites in England to support the incredibly rare Tormentil nomad bee. We've had a fantastic year on these sites, with over 300 visitors coming to our events and practical conservation days.
There's no such thing as a grass alive.
Of course there is. I'm one of the 30,000 children that visit Essex Wildlife Trust Visitor Centre at Thorndon Country Park every year.
Here I am in Cly Marshes, lots of banging, crashing going on as we're building a new education centre here.
In April this year, Worcestershire Wildlife Trust received national recognition for our Bowbrook Living Landscape project. We won Best Value for Money category in the England River Prize, which is awarded by the River Restoration Centre and the Environment Agency. Our project worked with over 50 landowners to achieve 15,000 square metres of new wetland habitat, making the Bowbrook catchment a better place for wildlife and for people.
2014 has seen the tower hide installed on Catcock Great Fen. This is going to provide a fantastic experience for visitors, with views across fen habitat, wet woodland and traditional hay meadows.
I'm Petra Billings, West Weald Living Landscape Officer with the Sussex Wildlife Trust. This year we've celebrated 5 years of our flagship project, having advised more than 130 landowners, bringing over 11,000 hectares of land into prime management for wildlife.
We're raising funds to restore Engine Farm, which is a really crucial part of the Great Fen jigsaw. In April, the Heritage Lottery Fund gave us £1.89 million.
In front of a newly restored piece of land, you can see a nice ditch here with a nice meandering channel, and this is the sort of thing we're hoping to create down at Engine Farm.
Yorkshire Wildlife Trust has been working with local shellfish fishers to encourage responsible fishing techniques. We've attended lots of public events, worked with suppliers, restaurants and other people who use and consume shellfish to promote the fantastic effort that some fishermen put in to not only ensure their captures of the highest possible quality, but secures their livelihoods and protects the ecosystem on which they all depend.
This has been a great year for the Devon Wildlife Trust. We added 37 acres to our Coronation Meadow in Dunstan in the north of the county. We secured funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund for a landscape scale conservation project on Greater Horseshoe Bats. We had the largest ever number of people come to our Wildlife Festival in Plymouth and the most successful Nature Reserve Open Day we've ever held. And to cap it all, we've got 4 new marine conservation zones. That's a year to remember.
I work on a project called All Paths Lead to the Hill, which is actually a partnership project between Gloucester City Council and Gloucester City Homes and funded by the Heritage Lottery Fund. The project is started in August 2013 and it's a really innovative project focused around Robbinswood Country Park, which is a country park and local nature reserve based right in the heart of Gloucester city centre, surrounded by lots of urban communities. And the project aims to get up these communities, engage with nature and back up to the hill, using the hill, which is a fantastic green space.
This is Mount Sorrel Marshes that the Leicestershire and Rutland Wildlife Trust was very pleased to acquire in 2013. It's a wonderful area of wet grassland and marsh lying alongside the River Soar just to the north of Leicester. The site adjoins one of our existing nature reserves and is an important addition to an extensive area of land being managed for both people and wildlife as part of an ambitious and exciting living landscape project.
This year, Surrey Wildlife Trust's River Search initiative has trained over 100 volunteers to monitor the health of the river in their area. During Rivers Week, they've also become involved in practical projects like this to create fish habitat on the River Wey.
On December the 5th, 2013, Lincolnshire Wildlife Trust experienced one of the most momentous events in its 65-year history. Devastating flooding of the Lincolnshire coast caused by a tidal surge was recorded as a 1 in 1,000 event by the Environment Agency. These dramatic images give an impression of the scale of damage stretching from the Humber to the Wash, affecting some of the Trust's most popular and precious sites. The full implications for wildlife will take some time to assess. The Trust's response going forward from this event is well underway.
Welcome to the beautiful Parkswick Nature Reserve. Let me show you around.
What was 3 hectares of improved agricultural pasture is now a wildlife-rich wetland habitat with a successful breeding pair of ringed plover, lapwing and much more. Members and volunteers helped us raise over £12,000 towards the cost of the new elevated bird hide. Now let's go to our newly refurbished visitor centre.
Finish a perfect day at our nature reserve with lunch at our coffee shop.
In Shropshire, we have recently bought an acre of Charles Darwin's original childhood garden. We're working really hard to open it up from the jungle that it is now and restore it back to its former glory. We've even had national press coverage as well. A visit from Countryfile was our high spot in late May this year.
Hi, we're Derwent Wise.
Welcome to Derbyshire and the beautiful Lower Derwent Valley. The highlight of 2014 for Derbyshire Wildlife Trust has been the awarding of £1.7 million from the Heritage Lottery Fund for the Derwent Wise Landscape Partnership Scheme.
Here at Lancashire, Manchester and Merseyside Wildlife Trust, we continue to have a very peaty year. We've been purchasing more peat bogs, and a lot of the work that we're trying to do on restoration of the peat bogs, particularly around Manchester, is going great guns with declaring it as an NIA and getting a very big HLF project in.
These images come from a video made to raise money for the purchase of Magpie Bottom, a wonderfully rich series of meadows and woods not 15 miles from the Shard in London. Not only rich in wildlife, this area is culturally rich. In the 1830s, the visionary artist Samuel Palmer worked here.
Great heath, great space, hang around a wild place. Life's chain, maintain, gotta work to sustain. Live here, work near, come on down and volunteer. Bumblebee, Birch Tree, diversity for you and me. Walk your dog, take a jog, it's like falling off a log. Get out, learn about, have fun, no doubt. Get in shape, your escape, it's the living landscape.
Durham Wildlife Trust's Wildground project is all about working with local councils to manage urban green spaces in a more wildlife-friendly way. Here at Bromston Pond in Washington, we've restored an old bird hide to give local people a better place to watch nature.
2014 is the year of living islands. This is our project linking island wildlife and heritage with the rest of the British Isles.
We are forging links both within our community, across the movement and even abroad, including the Normandy Ornithological Society.
We are increasing our community engagement, helping to create local schemes such as the Greenwood Project. This project promotes traditional woodland techniques, sustainability and using harvested wood to give residents and visitors a unique experience.
Located between Birmingham and Tamworth are the Tame Valley Wetlands. They're a really important landscape for both people and wildlife. In 2013, Warwickshire Wildlife Trust led on a bid with a whole host of other organisations to the Heritage Lottery Fund for £1.7 million worth of funding. We just found out we've been successful with that funding, so we're going to be injecting £2.5 million into this landscape to reconnect local people with it and to restore the River Tame, renaturalising the banks, creating new wetlands, whole host of training and volunteering opportunities as well. So the next 4 years is set to be a really exciting one in Warwickshire.
I'm really proud of our education and engagement programme. The team is 14 staff strong, delivering forest schools, undersea explorers and, with funding from the NHS, a woodland therapy programme on the Isle of Wight for mental health sufferers.
This year on the Isles of Scilly we have invested in volunteering. A new programme of year-long placements for 6 lucky graduates has begun, which provides professional training and work experience to make them ready for the world of work. Through a grant from the Halpin Charitable Trust, we have bought new land management machinery for the volunteers to use, and thanks to sponsorship by Isles of Scilly Travel, we are able to get them to and from the mainland to see family during their year living on the islands. All this investment will enable the Trust to better manage the 2,000 hectares of land in its care.
The Wild at Heart project, it's a marvellous project, specifically for working with older adults, people aged 50 to 105 I like to think, because that's a huge age range, and maybe someone might see a leaflet or a flyer and think, oh, I'm only 70, I wonder if they'll take me, or I'm 98, I wonder if I can still go. So I'm always really clear to people that it doesn't matter whatever your age, as long as you're over 50 you can come and be wild at heart. And I organise all sorts of activities and also deliver a lot of sessions for people in the place where they're comfortable.
Since Staffordshire Wildlife Trust took over the management of the magnificent Roaches Estate in the Staffordshire Peak District, not only have we introduced volunteer groups like this, but we've helped peregrine chicks successfully fledge, introduced cattle grazing and launched a major public appeal to repair footpaths on the estate.
Over the last year we've accompanied more than 200 children on 18 nature reserves, providing the opportunities for them to thrive, learn about themselves, be happy and be safe. Our preferred method of working is small groups over long time periods. One of our groups has now been out 44 times. Would you like to meet them?
Welcome to the Tees Valley Wildlife Trust Growing Wild Garden. We've got lots of different elements here that the pupils who come to visit our trust can learn about wildlife, and they can also eat different things as well in the garden.
Ulster Wildlife were delighted this year to receive Challenge Fund monies to begin Phase 1 of dam remediation works on Ballinahone Bog. The bog is one of the largest active bogs remaining in the country, and this work has yielded almost immediate results and benefited the biodiversity and the overall health of the bog.
Kerry Kehoe, and I manage the Anglesey Grazing Animals Partnership, which is now part of the North Wales Wildlife Trust, working to link people with appropriate livestock with land in need of conservation grazing.
We ran our second Wildwoods Day as part of the highly successful Woodlands for People and Wildlife project. Over 500 people came to the event, including 300 children. We had such amazing feedback from families that it's now part of our annual programme. This year, Wildwoods Day is at Gobians Wood, and I'm hoping that the woodland creatures will be a help rather than a hindrance.
I've learned on Lima there are several different ways to survey, and it depends on the time of year and the objective of the survey. So the stuff I've been doing with Sophie has been MVC, quite detailed surveys. It's been really nice to go out with the other Lima trainees and sort of get a bit more insight into other types of work. Also surveying, it's nice to have another opinion, and some of us know more than others. Tough to fetch. Field botany is a kind of a thing of the past for some universities, but it's really valuable to be doing that in the Lima placement.
Hello, my name is David Mooney. I'm the East London Regional Development Manager for London Wildlife Trust. For the past 4 years we've been working on 2 huge wetlands projects in East London, Woodbury and Walthamstow wetlands. Over 240 hectares in size, it'll be fantastic for wildlife and great for people's access. Save the date, see you there, 2015 and 2017.
Here at Gwent Wildlife Trust, one of our highlights this year has been our water voles at Megan Marsh. Since the reintroduction 3 years ago, they've been seen way beyond the confines of our nature reserve this year, and we are so pleased that they're thriving. All we need to do now is to stop the M4 relief road from ploughing straight through them.
Hi, I'm Nick, a Forest School Leader for Cheshire Wildlife Trust. Welcome to our brand new education barn at Bickley. If you'd come here a year ago, you'd been up to your knees in Calmup, but now thanks to £120,000 in funding, we've got a brand new classroom, toilets and conference facilities, and we can massively expand what we offer to visiting schools.
So 30 years ago, we put our tools to work on what was a really innovative urban wildlife habitat creation project here in Bristol. And so last year we focused on building on that heritage and bought a derelict brownfield site in the famous Avon Gorge to try and do the same again. It's resulted in our most successful ever public appeal and makes us ready to promote the need to create homes for wildlife during Bristol being European Green Capital next year.
This year at the Manx Trust has seen our best year for legacies, which in turn has secured our work for the next 3 years.
It's also been a great year for public events. We've had loads of people show up, especially for the marine events.
If I was to single out one particular highlight, it would have to be the Nature and Wellbeing Act. I'm really pleased with the progress that we're making on this groundbreaking and visionary piece of legislation. We've developed the content in association with the RSPB and other partners, thanks to the input of colleagues around the movement, and we're now starting to make progress with MPs and decision makers and making the arguments with them that we really need this groundbreaking piece of legislation that really reshapes our relationship with nature and the environment for people and for wildlife.
Last year, 4 trainees completed Cumbria Wildlife Trust's Marine Graduate Training Programme, bringing the number of people trained in the last 4 years up to 12. Thanks to Heritage Lottery funding, I'm part of the new programme that delivers training and skills in marine conservation. As part of the traineeship, not only do I get training from experts, but I also get to deliver training myself.
Wildlife Trusts are using social media more and more to connect with people around the world and in our local areas. We're sharing our work, our wild places and what people can do to help wildlife. By November 2014, Wildlife Trusts had 500,000 followers on Twitter and Facebook. That's fantastic.